Hello again, everybody. I'm your host, Felipe and Sean. You're listening to the Total Basis podcast. And with me, as always, it's Sean Flannery. Sean, how you doing this morning?
I am drafting. I am reviewing drafts. Baseball starts on Thursday. I'm like in ultimate panic mode, but just about all the drafts are done. I only got one left that we got to get done by Thursday. So we'll see how it goes. Draft season was very interesting this year. I was either like first through third in draft order, or I was the last two spots. There was no in between. I think I had one league where I was like sixth or seventh, but it was either I was first or second overall or 14th or 15th. So very weird. It's hard to kind of, in some ways, it's the same strategy of, making sure you get guys at the turn because it's going to be a while before your next pick. But we'll see how it goes this year. Hopefully, better than a couple of my late round draft spots last year.
So Jacob's making fun saying you're probably in 10 leagues, right? But no, you're still at 7, right?
Just on Fantrax, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
M's in my bank account. M's in my bank account. M's in my bank account. I'm
So,
sorry, how many leagues? 8?
I got 9 on Fantrax and 3 on NFBC.
That's crazy. I did three drafts this year, and it was driving me crazy. I'm exhausted from last night. I'll be honest. I don't know how. What are they all slow drafts? Is that what the secret is?
I think all but one has been a slow draft. Yes.
Telling you guys, slow drafts are the future, man. I don't have time to be there. This ain't fantasy football where we all have to be jerking each other off. And anyway,
whoa!
I have a really bad. I'm so sick of fantasy football, man. I'm done with it. I hate it so much, and I keep coming back because I love the competition. I get that urge every fall, but then we do it, and it's like, I hate it. Tuesday, what was it? Tuesday night waiver wire drops and shit. I hate it, man. I may not come back to the football like one this league.
See, this past year was my first year not doing fantasy football in probably 10 years. But even then, the last 5 of those years, I haven't really cared. It's not a paid league. It's just it was me, my brother, and a bunch of his college buddies. But oh well.
Alrighty then. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, so I tagged everybody. We're good to go. We are going to review the baseball. The 2023 was this our 5th? Is it our 5th?
Fourth. After the 4th year, we reset. We did 19, 20, 21. Well, no, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Okay.
Yeah, because 20 was the year that we switched over to Fantrax.
Yeah, so I'm counting that because I don't know how far back we go. I know that Aaron won a championship, which we are acknowledging.
And Vince won a couple.
So one. He won one, and then he left.
Aaron won one, or Vince won one. Aaron won 2. I've won 2.
Okay.
I think that's how it goes. I think Vince won 2019, and then no. So it must have been Vince in 18. Whatever.
I think it's been since 18, but I'm just counting the franchise. It's just easier because remember it was during the pandemic. So what was that? I think this is our 5th draft. 20, 21, 22, 24th. That's our 4th draft, I guess.
Yeah, this was the 4th draft.
Yeah. So thank everybody for being a part of that. And as you can see, we're sharing the screen up here. And we're going to just go through the picks really quickly. With round 1, Aaron got the first pick overall, and she got Jacob deGrom, followed by...
I was shocked that Jacob deGrom was even available. Of course, to those that don't know, each team was allowed to keep 9 players this year. I don't know how you don't have Jacob deGrom as one of your keepers.
And then next year we switch over.
Restart.
We restart all over again. So this would have been, but I think the problem here is that that's a replacement team that took over that team.
Yeah.
I think that was Matt Whelan's team.
Okay.
And James Pinos took over that team. And he saw Jacob deGrom. He's a Yankee fan. Remember, he's a Yankee fan. He saw Jacob deGrom. Like, no, I'm not taking no injury prone ex-Mets player. I think there is a little bit of Mets hate that went on there, but
I was only told that Yankees fans never hate on the Mets. It's only Mets fans that hate on Yankees. That's what I've been told. But what do I know? I am just a mere mortal.
Jacob says it doesn't matter what you think, Felipe. You guys gotta be. We're not delay. I have no idea what I said. I don't know what I said last night. I don't know what I said this morning. Be specific. And good morning to Henry, who's listening for a little bit. So anyway, Jacob deGrom, he got picked first overall in this pick. That's treasure bonanza if you're Aaron, right?
Well, you see, I was trying to trade for said draft pick because I really wanted DeGrom. But alas, that did not come to pass.
Yeah. Really quick, it's funny that you've mentioned that how wacky it is. I had to draft in like my first pick in every one of my drafts this year, all three of them, double digits. 10th round, 10th pick, and 14th pick were my first picks in this year's drafts.
What league are you in that's 15 teams?
No. I traded away my first round pick to either get Aaron Judge or Mike Trout.
Yeah,
I forgot which one.
I remember now. Okay.
So I had no
So
first
it was
round
the 12 team league, but you just traded down. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I had so many picks before the 10th round. I think I did pretty good. I showed you my roster.
Yes.
What grade did you give me for that one? I'm joking.
I need to go back, but I remember it was like really good, and I was like, holy
damn right.
Were all of these guys like kept? I had forgotten that. I think it was Machado was a keeper.
Machado, Bichette, Trout, Judge, and Yordan Alvarez. If I don't win it this year, I'm just gonna quit, man. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go back to fantasy football.
No, you're not.
James Pinos is giving his reasoning behind the madness here. I love DeGrom, but I don't like dressing guys that are always hurt. There you go. He's dressing. He didn't want to dress his wounds. Okay. So anyway, Angel goes up and picks up Tommy Edman, followed by James, who settled for Logan Webb. What do you think there, Sean? Jacob deGrom or Logan Webb for this upcoming season?
Yeah, definitely Jacob deGrom.
All right, well, there's that. Clay Holmes going to Jets team. I think he was mostly on auto draft since he works at night. Unfortunately, This is the time where the slow draft does not. This
was the infamous. I know he has the wonky work schedule as well, but he also came up into the group chat and said that he was a bit under the weather for a few days, and so he wasn't really paying attention. And it was the reheated Red Lobster, and like that. I feel like everyone joined the group chat for about 5 or 10 minutes. And it was just like, yeah, we could have told you that, Jack.
I don't know. I never had any issues with Red Lobster. I don't know.
But reheating it, depending on what it was.
It was, I believe it was a Red Lobster. No, I'm joking. Mike Harvey takes Adolis Garcia, and this would start because I been in reviewing these teams in preparation for this show. I looked at Mike Harvey's team. And I got to say, I'm pretty disappointed in it. I'm very disappointed. And Adolis Garcia is the first pick that he goes with. And it actually was it got brought up last night. What is the deal with Adolis Garcia? Are we too harsh on him, or does he deserve the credit that he deserves? What do you think, Sean? You'll be the final verdict on this one. Yeah, Adolis Garcia, yay or nay?
Adolis Garcia is typically not the guy I would like. The power, speed, but like really low OBP, doesn't walk, swing. He dropped the strikeout rate a little bit last year, but normally that's not a guy I target. In my NFBC leagues, in the 3 of them, which are all traditional 15-team roto, I think I have him in 2. And it just happened to be, based on how the draft room fell, that you really got to get stolen bases early in traditional roto. That's one reason why I'm kind of forcing myself to play it, so I can kind of get better at that strategizing. But Adolis Garcia brings that blend of power and speed that in a categories league makes him really, really valuable. And to me, I don't think he's all that different than Jazz Chisholm, but he's going, how many picks earlier? Obviously not in our draft. He actually went with 2 picks later. But the terms of ADP, I think Jazz Chisholm's like 1 or 2 full rounds ahead of Adolis Garcia. So I'm interested in Adolis Garcia and kind of where he bats in that new Texas Ranger, new look roster and lineup. Because last year, he was almost 30-20. I think it was 27 home runs, 25 stolen bases. So like you look at that and you look at the OPS, he's never had higher than 756, which he posted last year. But it's that perfect blend of home runs and stolen bases that is so valuable in fantasy. So, yeah, I think this seems about right, especially because we kept 9 players last year.
Yeah.
So this is really round 10. So he would have definitely been gone by the 10th round in the 12-team league. So pretty good pick here.
Yeah. I avoid Adolis Garcia everywhere I go. Any league I'm in, I avoid him like the plague. I don't like him. He's 30 years old, still swinging for the fences, and I guess that's
Is he really 30? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
he just turned not
I
too long
remember.
ago.
I guess he was around in the Cardinals organization for a while before Texas picked him up.
Yeah, kind of a late bloomer and got the opportunity with Texas, and he's been, I mean, he almost got 30-30 last year, but again, it comes with a 300 on base percentage, and then this year he's projected to get another what? Oh, 288 on base percentage, despite the rule changes, which, well, I should be fair to those projections. They're not really accounting for those rule changes, but still, 29 home runs and 20 stolen bases is the projection for 2023 according to the roster resource. But at what cost? You're getting, especially in this league with the high strikeouts.
I got him in the 5th round of the Palazzo podcast draft and hold.
God, no, not for me, man. There's
and
better.
And I want to say I have him somewhere else too. I just have to. I'd have to go look.
All right, so we're split decision on that one. I avoid him.
Normally I would. That's the thing is I find myself.
But you're buying in.
I'm playing more roto than just like points or like head to head. And so, like, I kind of feel like that my brain physiology is changing as that goes along.
Pino's with the shots fired here. Yeah, she'll get Jacob deGrom for 3 weeks, and that's it. So, what 3 weeks was that? With maybe 5 starts?
La.
Gotta love the Yankee Mets rivalry, huh? Jacob, our guy who's been with us since the early hours or the early minutes, goes with Kevin Gossman. Andrew O'Sullivan goes with Jazz Chisholm. You just mentioned Jazz earlier. Hunter Green goes to Leon, which Leon actually had a very good draft, I got to admit. And for me, it was either going to be Kevin Gossman and Hunter Green. And once again, the Step Back podcast screwed me over. And then
the step back screwers.
Well, I mean, besides those guys, the other one, I mean, I was getting sniped left and right with being sandwiched between James Handeboat, Henry, and yourself. And I was getting, all right, well, if they took Kevin Gossman and Hunter Green, I'm going to get ready to get Eloy Jimenez. And then, of course, Handeboat takes him from me.
Yeah, you were quite upset with James in the group chat during the draft.
Yeah, screw that guy. And then, so that I figure, you know what? Let's go. I'll just take Clayton Kershaw. And I'm not too proud with that, but considering who else is available, he was definitely the best player that I could have gotten at that point. With the otherwise, I get Lucas Giolito. I mean, let me ask you, Clayton Kershaw or Lucas Giolito in this round?
I'd probably go Clayton Kershaw. Granted, Lucas Giolito is like so cheap in a lot of my other drafts that I'm actually finding myself picking him a lot. But it's just because he's like so heavily discounted right now.
Yeah, I get it. I just there's some, it's the White Sox. We don't know what to expect from them. They look like they're gonna bounce back this year, but I'm not gonna count on it. And then the drop off from Giolito last year is just very alarming. Very alarming. He goes from ace to someone that you can't even trust anymore. Like he was going like early in the single digits last year.
That was more of like that was 21. No, I thought 21 was his really bad year. Or was it last year?
I don't know.
Because last year, okay, no, it was last year. Last year was the 4.9 ERA. Okay,
I had him last year, and you already saw like marks of decline in 2021, and 2022 was just awful. I mean, I kept him last year, and I regretted it. So, and then you go with the 2 wild card picks. I think they're 2 wild card picks. O'Neal Cruz, which comes with high strikeouts and low on base, pretty much the Adolis Garcia thing that we were just talking about, except that O'Neal Cruz has much higher upside and potential.
I am zigging where everybody else zags.
Sure.
I tell people all the time, don't go after these guys that strike out a lot and don't get on base. But look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now.
Look at you now. Getting paper. And then you offset the high strikeouts and low on base percentage with Brandon Nimmo.
Yeah, that was like you
round.
said, that was kind of the offsetting pick, as well as just going ahead and locking in a center fielder, which I end up having 4 center field eligible guys on my roster, Nimmo included. But already had Alvarez and Tucker locked into the corners as 2 of my 9 keepers. So just wanted to go ahead because I knew he would not be back there by the end of round 3, knowing the several Mets fans in the group, or in the league. So just went ahead and grabbed him off. Like you said, that was like the safe pick. That was like my Clayton Kershaw pick.
Yeah, that might be a little too safe there, but because Henry's bringing up the fact that hey, then Nimmo gets hurt in the WBC, man. Tough luck for you.
He didn't get hurt in the WBC.
Oh no, he didn't.
He
Oh,
didn't even play in the
interesting.
WBC.
What? Get out of here! But he got hurt. I thought players only get hurt in the WBC.
No,
That's what I was told.
That's no him. That's not it.
That's what I was told, that players shouldn't go to the WBC because they get hurt. So therefore, Brandon Nimmo must have played in WBC because he got hurt this spring. Or was that spring training where he got hurt?
I mean, he had a bad slide and missed like 2 games.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's
yeah,
a joke, Sean. It's a joke.
I'm sorry, but it's just like what the. Yeah, Henry saying somebody give me some coffee. That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't drunk some. I'm drinking my coffee. I got like a big freaking mug over here, Spider-Man mug right here, because I didn't go to bed at a reasonable hour last night because I was still celebrating my big win in my draft last night. So then George Springer goes to Henry. I take Vinny Pasquantino, and then of course Handaboat. He basically told me that I made his pick for him. He goes with Nate Lowe. Leon takes MJ Melendez. Andrew takes Ryan Helsley. Jacob takes Stephen Kwan. Sean Murphy goes to Applebaum. Jet goes with Yandy Diaz. I believe that's anytime that there's a Yandy Diaz pick, it is an homage to you, sir.
Yeah, I feel like half of his picks in every single draft that we've done with Jet, half of them are like guys that I consider my guys. Like it started with Will Smith like 2 years ago when he drafted him, going into I think it was year 2. But yeah, it's like a lot of his picks. I look at him and I'm like, oh, I'd pick that guy.
He was getting jiggy with it. Giancarlo Stanton goes to James Pinos. So he didn't want to take Jacob DeGrom because he gets hurt.
Hold me back. Girl, hold my poodle. Hold my poodle. Oh my God. Don't tell me that you don't want DeGrom because he's injured too much, but we'll take Stanton. Okay, moving on. Before I say
Jose Abreu goes to Angel, and then Aaron takes Alejandro Kirk at catcher, which I was very close to getting him, but I don't know. I cannot bring myself to pick a catcher in the first couple of rounds or so. But yeah, she goes back-to-back homer picks with Alejandro Kirk and Chris Bassett. I do not like the Chris Bassett pick. I feel like there were better starting pitchers out there, but she went with the hometown pitcher there. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So, that's way too big. That's what she said. All right. Perfect. Eugenio Suarez. That's another pick I don't like here from Angel. That's going to be a theme. I don't like a lot of picks that Angel made in this draft. Right. Is that what I gave him? Yeah. It's the same grade I gave him in the other league. Max Muncy. I don't like that pick at all from James Pinos. So far, James Pinos is disappointing me, which is also going to be a running theme in this draft. Jet goes to Miles Mikolas. Felix Bautista goes to Mike Harvey. Jacob goes to Jeremy.
I like Bautista there. There weren't many relief pitchers, which is why. Can you go back up to actually? I can pull it up in round 2. Who was the relief?
Go ahead.
Any relief pitchers go in round 2? No, but here in round 3, kind of start seeing the run on them of seeing Felix Bautista go, and then Henry picked Yohan Duran, and that kind of inspired what I was going to do here. And then you hopped on the bus shortly here in round 4. If you just want to continue with the picks, and we'll get to who I picked.
Right. Yeah, your interesting viewpoint there about the relief pitchers, because we are about to see them go off the board pretty soon. I think you might be right. This might have been the one that started it. But then Jeremy Pena goes to Jacob. Luis Garcia, the starting pitcher from Houston, goes to O'Sullivan's team. Gleyber Torres goes to Leon's team. Handaboat goes Joe Musgrove, and then so he went Joe Musgrove. Can you
explain the Glasnow pick here?
He was the best player on my board, man.
Okay,
the best,
okay.
And I love
even with the injury concerns.
I mean, what is it? Okay. How bad was it? I didn't think it was serious.
It was like an oblique or a lap.
Okay, it wasn't his arm. That's all I cared. That's all I cared about.
Has not started throwing of yet, and that was on March 11th.
You know what it is, man?
Grade 2 left oblique.
I'm planting seeds, bro. I'm planting seeds. Normally, I don't take those I don't take those injury risks.
Yeah, because when I saw you pick that kind of made my ears perk up. Like, what?
But this year, I'm trying to do different things. I'm trying to be more open, and I've always loved Tyler Glasnow. So, plus you saw that I was forced to pick Clayton Kershaw in the first round because you guys all took my pitcher. So I said, you know what? I can't play it safe this year at starting pitcher. I gotta go big or go home. because this is the last year we're keeping all these players. So
You got to
Glass
put your
now,
big boy pants on.
got to put the big boy pants on, as Kobe Bryant used to tell Pau Gasol. And I mean, and then even if Joe Musgrove, because Joe Musgrove's been a favorite player of mine for the last few years in this league, even if Joe Musgrove wasn't there, I think I still would have gone with Tyler Glass now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Even if Joe Musgrove was there, I still would have gone with Glass now. But then you mentioned it. Henry goes with John Duran, so that means panic time. Sean goes back-to-back relief pitchers with Camilo Doval and David Bednar before Henry takes Anthony Santander. And then I say, you know what? F this. I want my relief pitcher.
You're gonna get in on it too.
And I get Andres Munoz, who was so instrumental in a lot of my leagues last year. So I want to ride that train one more time.
Okay, so if you have to, granted, in this league, Munoz is much more valuable because we count holds.
Damn right. Right. I know my
if
stuff.
If you had to rank Doval, Bednar, and Munoz, what's the order you put them in?
Is it Duran, Bednar, and Munoz? You said and Doval, all four of those guys.
Bednar, Doval, Munoz.
So you're not gonna count Joan Duran.
Oh, okay, we can count Duran, but I was just
Damn
gonna say
right
between my picks and your picks, but we can count Duran as well.
All right. So actually, Felix Bautista was my number 2 best player available before the draft started. Camilo Doval was number 3. David Bednar was number 5. Who else? Duran was number 12, and Munoz was number Munoz was number 11. Right.
Okay. So that makes me feel a little bit better about me picking Doval and Bednar, because it's like I feel like Munoz is definitely like the better.
Well, hold on now. I was getting to that. So these rankings are based on the fact that these guys are going to get like save opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
In this league, however, if it's pound for pound, regardless of who's closing and who's not, Andres Munoz, I believe, is the best relief pitcher out of those 4.
Yeah.
Easily, because he could get you really minuscule rate stats, this big strikeouts from the relief pitching standpoint, and he can either get saves or holds. In this league, it's pretty valuable. And I might just be biased, and I also might be what do you call it? Still on my WBC high, where he should have been on Team Mexico, but he wasn't. I'm telling you, if he's there against Japan, we're not talking about Japan versus USA in the final. We're talking about a border war between the US and Mexico in Miami for the WBC championship. So, but alas,
Munoz has 22 holds last year.
Yeah.
You see that's my only worry. Like I said, I've picked him a few times in my traditional roto leagues, just hoping that either he gets like 5 to 10 saves and just the elite rate stats, and maybe even like 90 to 100 strikeouts from an RP spot. But I just worry about the save opportunities. That's all.
If it's pound for pound, no saves opportunities, it's Munoz, Duran, Doval, and Bednar. That's the way I rank them. But since we live in a world where we need to account for saves and stuff, I guess I just mentioned it was Doval, Bednar, Duran. I'm sorry, Doval, Bednar, Munoz, and Duran. That's in that order. Just because
I was really thinking about Munoz, and I was so close. Then I was like, let me just get 2 good saves.
I'll
find a relief pitcher later.
As someone who's done that strategy before in other leagues, there's a lot of risk involved in getting those guys who you think are going to get saves and then they don't. I think Bednar is going to be gone from Pittsburgh soon. I think he might have signed a contract. I don't remember.
He's definitely trade bait.
Okay, there you go. So he's going to get traded, and then is he going to go to a team that's going to need him for saves, or is he going to need him for holds? And as you know, Sean, holds are so unpredictable, are even more unpredictable than saves apparently. And he kind of got a little bit exposed last year too. As the year went on, he wasn't as dominant as he was at the beginning of the year.
He dealt with some injuries. I think that was what it was like a back thing.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So hopefully he's healthy this year. And then dealing with the Pirates is no easy task either. Yeah. But and Doval has Taylor Rogers nipping at his heels, and I don't think Doval's going to lose his job. And I think he's in a good situation in San Francisco, but he's still a little bit wild. He has really good stuff, but he's a little bit wild, too wild for my taste. Whereas Munoz is just the perfect relief pitcher, man. I'm telling you.
And you see, that was the thing was
no bias.
One of my keepers was Raisel Iglesias, and so I didn't feel like I needed 2 relief pitchers like lock-in closers.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
But I'm glad I did, because now Raisel Iglesias is going to start the year on the IL. So.
Well, I mean, still, I think you took. I wouldn't have recommended back-to-back relief pitchers, even if you were like, "Oh man, I'm not going to get anybody back."
I'm wild.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, let's see who else would have been better here. I mean, we're going to go with it right now. Matt Chapman? No, I wouldn't have done Matt Chapman. Alec Baum? No way. Starling Marte, maybe. I mean, you are a Mets fan. Maybe you would have wanted to do that, but
I
he
am
is older.
I am a Mets fan. I am not a big fan of Starling Marte.
Joey Meneses, Team Mexico, goes to Jacob. Reese Hoskins, who, oof, brother. Oof. There's those WBC injuries.
Okay,
I'll tell you what, man, those WBC injuries are adding up, dude. They're adding up. Oh, no, that was spring training as well. And he wasn't celebrating, and he wasn't doing anything too strenuous. He was literally just picking up ground balls.
Fly ball.
Oh, I thought it was a ground ball. Well, either way, it was practice.
He ended up on the ground, and so did the ball.
Jeez, that's too soon, man. So looking at these picks, Willie Adames, Kenley Jansen, Daniel Bard, Jonathan India, I guess that was the thing to do. Was those were the two best players available. I still think it's a little risky, but I mean, in hindsight, they do look a little bit better. Yeah. So we go. That was round 4, by the way. I went a little faster. We've just been.
No, that was the round of the relief pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, Kenley Jansen was wolf. Not a fan
Daniel
of that
Bard.
And Daniel Bard wolves. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to say those were the two guys to get.
The Duran was the first domino that fell there.
No, man, we established that it was Felix Bautista.
Bautista, okay.
Yeah, Bautista and his power bombs. Oh, wrong Bautista.
wrong one.
Aaron, and to start off round 5, goes with CJ Cron, and then Angel goes with Jay Cronenworth.
Oh my.
James Pinos finally makes a pick that I like, Pablo Lopez, but it wasn't as good as getting Jeffrey Springs by Jet, though. I think I like the Jeffrey Springs pick better than the other one. Taylor Ward going again. Everybody likes Taylor Ward. He got kudos last night in the podcast league draft. Am I missing something about Taylor Ward? Why are people celebrating Taylor Ward this year?
I don't know. It's a weird thing with him. Like, he was so good to start off the year, and then he was really bad. And then he was really good again right at the very end of the year. And I think it's the hope that maybe he steals a little bit more, because he actually does have pretty good speed. He only had 5 stolen bases last year. Was caught 3 times, but maybe it's one of those guys. And he, of course, he has like the boutique savant page where everything is like 70 percentile or better. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. I don't think I have any shares of Taylor Ward.
Yeah, he was so meh to me, so I avoided him. We get 3 consecutive starting pitchers. I want to ask who was the best one, so I'm going to name him. Jacob goes with Kodai Senga. Sorry, let me rename that. Kodai Senga. Oh, I feel like I just said it the same way.
Yeah.
Kodai Senga. Andrew goes with Chris Sale, and then Leon goes with Jesus Luzardo. Personally, Chris Sale though. I think I would have done Chris Sale, Jesus Luzardo, and Kodai Senga in that order, but. I mean, what do you think? Who was the best pitcher of that bunch there?
I mean, they're all uber talented, could be really good. It just depends on availability. Chris Sale, we know what he's gone through the last few years. Jesus Luzardo's not, some Iron Man. And Kodai Senga is going to have to adjust to pitching every 5th day, something that he didn't do in Japan.
Oh, wow.
So definitely a string of interesting arms right there, including Lopez and Jeffrey Springs, who went beforehand, who seemed like the more safe picks. But this year, I was trying to get Chris Sale
same.
in this round. I feel like this has got to be the year, right?
I think so. It's not like he re-injured his arm, his left arm. It was just freak injuries.
Yeah.
So
what was it? He came back from the injury and then had like the broken finger, like on the comebacker or whatever.
That was fluky, and then he got hurt with a bicycle. Was it?
I don't know.
It's usually dirt bikes and bicycles. Apparently, those are the more acceptable ways to get hurt in Major League Baseball. Better than WBC. That's what we learned this spring. Yeah. Stupid logic.
Just get hurt on a motorcycle.
Yeah, and then I figured, crap, I'm running out of catchers, so I'm targeting a catcher. Luckily, James Hannibal goes with Cal Raleigh, who I did not want at all this year. So that gave me the opportunity to get Logan O'Hoppe. This is a 2-catcher league, so I already have Wilson Contreras. Logan O'Hoppe goes to my team as my second catcher. You didn't
want the big dumper?
No, I think he's going to big dumper.
Also,
about to get
I'm
exposed.
not sure if they haven't announced if Logan O'Hoppe's made the every opening day lineup. Roster. Because I have him in a couple of spots.
It was worth the risk.
And
it was worth the risk for me.
It really looks like they're going Max Stassi. And,
damn it. That's why the Angels suck so much every year.
Who's the other guy? Matt Theis or whatever.
It was worth it at that point. I mean, we're running out of catchers.
Because honestly, I have him. This was probably the only league that I truly punted. As you know, I don't think my last 2 picks of the draft were my starting catchers.
Here we go. As of March 18th, I don't know what's been happening since then. It's already the 26th. So, but here, according to Roto News, O'Hop appears as an underdog to begin the season in the majors with Matt Tice having a good spring. MLB.com reports O'Hop is hitting 250 with a home run this spring. Analysis. O'Hop is one of the team's top prospects, but the Angels may start him out in the minors. This is why the Angels are a bunch of losers. There, I said it. He's drawing good reviews overall this spring, so a decision on him making the opening day roster may come down to the wire. Either way, O'Hop seems like a candidate to be in the majors earlier rather than later this season. O'Hop had a breakout season last year by hitting 283 with 26 home runs and a 961 ops at AA, which earned him a 14-game late season call-up with the Angels. He was already on the team. He was already on the team last year.
Yep.
What the hell are you doing? Idiots.
Yeah,
anyway.
Roster Resource still has him as the starting catcher, but everything else appears to be like Max Stassi is the only guaranteed catcher right now. And then it's either going to be like they'll probably carry Matt Thies because I think he's out of options. Yes, he is. So Matt Thies is out of options. Logan O'Hop is not. They would have to carry O'Hop as the third catcher more than likely, but he has options. So do the roster math there.
Yeah, well, I still thought I was a best player available in terms of that position, so I went with it. And I figured that 14 games was enough of a preview for the Angels to realize, hey, we might have our catcher of the future here. But apparently, the Angels want to do Angel things. So
they said, "Psych."
It's like we're the Angels, we're idiots. We don't know what the hell we're doing. That's why we have the 2 best players that were showcased in the WBC this past season, and yet we can't win diddly squat in Major League Baseball because we suck at everything that we do. We have finally get a good prospect and we want to put him in the minors. What are you? Who are you? The Seattle Mariners with Jerry Kelenic? Anyway, I digress. And then Henry goes not back to back, sorry, but he goes Paul Sewald. So what was it? He got Joan Duran and then he got Paul Sewald in the 5th round. And then I got the idea of getting a catcher this in the virtual, I lost count, but this is the 5th round in our league.
Yeah.
Cost me a chance at getting Blake Snell, who I thought I can get on the comeback, but you had other things in mind, so you picked up Blake Snell and then Drew Rasmussen. So that really pissed me off because those were 2 guys that I really wanted.
I can find pitchers like Snell and Rasmussen easier than I can find guys to replace Doval and Bednar.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So. Anyway, I move on. I'm too upset right now to even analyze that.
Still in mourning.
Well, it is morning. Thank you. Good morning to everybody. And speaking of guys who got screwed over by making a pick for a young guy, Vaughn Grissom, and I feel Henry's pain because I also picked him up in my other league and thinking he was my starting second baseman. Psych! The Braves decided to bench him, and that was a conversation from last night. Why did the Braves send him down? And it was to make room for
Orlando Arcia.
Thank you, Orlando Arcia, the former Brewers prospect, and some guy whose name I can't pronounce.
Ihire Adrianza.
That's Adrianza, right?
He's been around for forever.
But that's fine. Henry picks Grissom. I went with Nico Horner, who, except for the Mardi Gras League, because those are shorter rosters, I picked up Nico Horner everywhere I went. So good middle infield option for me right there, I think. I really believe in him. Low strikeout, high on base, get you the little all the doubles and the singles, and it's something that I was missing from last year's team. So I'm hoping Nico Horner stays healthy this year. Scott Barlow goes to James Hannibal. So I guess that's the penalty you get. That's the penalty you get for waiting on relief pitchers. Now you're stuck with a guy like Scott Barlow, who has Aroldis Chapman knocking on the door. But the Royals always have decent names in the bullpen. I'm not saying that they're good, but they're intriguing names. So, I mean, Josh Stoutman.
They are certain. Oh, Staumann's not even on the opening day roster.
Yeah, I know, but he's always lurking.
Options, yeah.
He's always going to be lurking. Amir Garrett is always lurking.
Carlos Hernandez this year.
I'm sorry, what?
Aroldis Chapman this year.
Yeah, I mentioned him. Dylan Coleman as well, and Carlos Hernandez, who was the one. I think he was the one guy we were excited about in the starting rotation last year, right?
Yeah, don't get excited for Royal starters.
Now he's in the bullpen. Well, we shall see. I don't know. They got some guys. They got some guys. To quote Dave Wanstead, they got some eyes. They got arms and legs. Leon goes to Masataka Yoshida, who made a big splash in the WBC, those meaningless games that he played in. Freddie Peralta. I'll put it this way: people loved the Freddie Peralta pick last night in our draft. Not sure how I feel about him coming into this year. I was avoiding him.
I mean, he was a guy that I could have kept last year. I kept him going into last year. And then he was just a complete non-factor for me all year. So
Yeah.
I decided to use that elsewhere.
James, did someone say Homer pick? I guess with Nico Horner. Hey, I'm not reaching for him like 16 rounds before he's really due. So, like some Mets fans do. So yeah, let's honestly, I listen, man. I double and triple check. Right? Is he really the best middle infielder available? And it turned out that he was on my draft board. So, yeah.
There you go.
Otherwise, I think I would have gone with Grissom here, but Henry had other ideas. Oh well. Riley Green, center fielder, and this goes to Jacob's team, and this is where I start my rant against the Detroit Tigers. But you guys already heard my rant against the Detroit Tigers. I was avoiding every Tigers prospect and player known to man because I don't believe in them. They're worse than the Angels. Nothing. Okay.
You sure? You sure?
Oh, with Tigers? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna humor you, Sean. I've already done this.
Okay,
the Tigers are a mess.
Okay.
Tigers are a mess.
Okay.
How do you have these high pedigree prospects and not a single one of them are hits? And the one guy that was a hit is injured. Tari Skubal, right? Tommy John surgery, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can't do anything right over there.
I mean, they were about as equally bad as the Angels when it came to developing pitching. I'll give you that.
And they still. And the worst part is they don't have any Shohei Otanis on their team or any Logan O'Hops.
No,
they have no Logan O'Hops to send down to the minors. This is going to be the last. By the way, this is going to be the last round where I name every single player individually. Then we're going to switch to something else when we go past the 7th round. So Brandon Lau goes to Team Molina, Mike Harvey's team. Roddy Tellez, that's the homer pick for Jets team. He's a big Brewers fan. I actually do like that pick though. No bias. Not that I have a rooting interest for Roddy Tellez or anything. Go Team Mexico.
Yeah.
Pinos. So you mentioned there are no Royals that are worth drafting at starting pitcher.
Well, I didn't say they're not worth drafting. I said I just don't get excited over. I don't get excited over them.
I hate the Royals with a passion. He said, but Pinos goes, nah, homie. Have you ever heard of this guy named Brady Singer?
He was on Team USA.
He was on Team USA getting rattled by Team Mexico in the second game of Arizona, of the Arizona theater there.
Call him a Baraka because Mexico's rattling him.
Different sport. Morocco finally did beat Brazil in a friendly last night or 2 nights ago. I forgot which night. But just like that, those games are meaningless because that's literally just a friendly. They call it friendlies because it's not supposed to mean anything.
Can you imagine if we had friendlies in baseball?
How would that be, really? Like just a practice run. How many?
I guess that's what those exhibition games are that they usually have like 2 days before spring training, like finally back at their home ballpark.
Right.
It's a friendly exhibition.
Well, even the concession stands people, they need practice too.
Yeah,
that's their spring training. Sure. If you imagine being a concession stand person in March in Chicago, like we got to practice for this crap in this weather.
Telling you, that's the most miserable I've ever been at a baseball game. Would have been April 2014, Chicago Cubs game, 7-degree wind chill, and it took my dad 7 innings to drink a beer because it was so damn cold.
Well, that was your first
and then we
mistake.
left in the top of the 8th because it was a bad Cubs team and it was a bad Reds team, and I think there were a combined 6 errors. Like it was, nobody could catch the ball. Oh, it was terrible.
That's because Nico Horner wasn't there to gobble up those ground balls. That's
no, but I believe Brian LaHare was. That's the one name that sticks out to me from that game.
Yeah, I gotta love Cub fans getting excited for unimportant players like Kyle Hendricks. Hey, Kendall Graven goes to Angels team. I like that pick, and Pete Fairbanks. So there were some relief pitchers still available. We just didn't have the patience for it, apparently. So that's the first 6 rounds. We go to the 7th round, and I'm not going to name all the players. So Sean, I ask you, let's go with which player in the 7th round that you hate.
Which player in the 7th round do I hate?
Yeah. If you're not ready,
I kind of want to give Jed a do-over because he was on auto, but he gets Yasmani Grandal there
in the 7th round. Oh yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, it turns out maybe I should have drafted Yasmani Grandal instead of Logan O'Hoppe because the Angels.
Not a huge fan of the Jake McCarthy. Jake McCarthy has a lot of helium this year, and I am just completely out on him. I think he played in over his head last year, and I think there's better outfield options for the Diamondbacks. So
I actually like
either Grandal or Jake McCarthy.
I actually like the Jake McCarthy, and I think I got pissed off that Candleboat got him there. So because I was ready to pounce on him.
I mean, all he basically has is speed.
That's all you need,
And
man.
no, but like he's not a good hitter. He's not a good hitter.
The blasphemy on Jake McCarthy.
It's not happening.
No way, man. I know you keep dogging him.
We are not making Jake McCarthy a thing, guys.
He was a thing last year. What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, batters similar to Jake McCarthy based on his batted ball profile. Cal Mitchell. Yeah, who the hell's Cal Mitchell? Odubel
right?
Herrera. No, he was the Pirates.
Oh, okay.
Pirates.
Hey, Herrera had some nice years for the Phillies.
That's 2022 Odubel Herrera. 2022 Danny Mendick. And then 2022 Tommy Edman, who I like Tommy Edman, so we're gonna act like he's not there. And then 2022 Cesar Hernandez.
No.
Did Cesar Hernandez even play? He played. He played a lot last year.
Yeah, was he with the White Sox still, or was
no? It was Washington.
The Nationals had nobody. No, let's stick with Tommy Edman for a bit. So because if we're gonna be bashing people for their bad batting profiles, Tommy Edman's like the poster child to guys I don't want to get in any of my drafts because of that. But I understand that there's production value. It's basically the same production, except McCarthy might get you more home runs.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, 28
Tommy Edman has the higher kind of raw power, which is a funny sentence to say.
Tommy Edman has higher raw power.
No, but like his max EVs are actually better than you would think for Tommy Edman. He also strikes out less, walks a little bit more, plays in a better lineup. Better defender. He plays more on the field. Doesn't have any competition at shortstop. Yeah, Tommy Edman's better.
I disagree on that. The Cardinals, you know how the Cardinals are. If you make a mistake, they send you back to AAA or they trade you to the Mets or something.
Not Tommy Edman.
No. They did it. They've done it with Harrison Bader. They've done it with a plethora of outfielders. Remember Paul DeYoung? Remember when Paul DeYoung was a thing?
Yep. Trust me. Even when Paul DeYoung's been terrible the last 3 years, anytime the Mets play the Cardinals, they put him in just because it's like a troll thing at this point. Because for his career, I think he has like a 1,200 OPS against the Mets for his career over like 30-something plate appearances. It's not like 4. So, but yeah, he continues to kill the Mets and then just be complete ass against everybody else.
I think the pick I would go here as the pick I don't like is Jose Berrios. I know maybe there's a value proposition mentality here with the Angels team, but you see all the other players that were available, and I think I would have that has to be the worst pick of this round easily. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
I just want to say, to pat myself on the back for the last couple of years, where like 2.5, 3 years ago, really 2 years ago, I was the one that was like, Jose Berrios is not good.
Yeah,
Jose Berrios is not good. And then he gets traded and gets the big extension, and everyone's like, oh, now he's going to play on a good team. He's going to rack up more wins. And I'm just over here saying Jose Berrios is not good.
Before we move to
my victory lap on Jose Berrios being ass.
I've been hearing that from you for years now. So I do agree with you not liking Jose Berrios. Before we move on to round 8, shout out to Pinos. He actually made a pick that I do like, just to give him a break here. Andrew Vaughn. I was hoping to get him back. Obviously, pipe dream there on my behalf, but yeah, that's a really nice pick there. He qualifies at 3 different positions: left field, right field, first base. So that's a decent. I think he's finally gonna live up to his potential this upcoming season. So, well, speaking of guys that we like, what about round 8? Anybody that sticks out like, damn, that's a great pick?
The Jose Leclerc pick, really.
What? Again,
he's
you're
closing.
bashing Jake McCarthy, but
he's closing for Texas.
And he's not that consistent. He's never been that consistent.
He's just been hurt. He's always been good. He's just been hurt.
Excuses.
Same thing with
Jacob deGrom.
No, what was his name? The other relief, Jonathan Hernandez.
Yeah, I would have done Hernandez over this guy. I don't like
Jose Leclerc was always like had more upside than Hernandez. But I hate my Jorge Polanco pick here. I was kind of panicking because I didn't have a second baseman.
Should have gone with Nico Horner.
I hated my draft pick here, but I did back that up with drafting Edouard Julian. So Polanco might start the season on the IL. If he does, that opens the door for Julian to potentially be opening day roster, but they could just move Nick Gordon to second base. So
Jose Leclerc, the guy with the 5.32 career walk per 9 innings. No, man, I'm not doing that.
Okay. We've seen a lot of people walk a lot of people.
And we've seen
for his career. What did you say? 15 or 14?
For his career,
14.1.
5.32 walk per 9 innings.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
walk
looking
rate
at walk
14.1.
percentage.
Yeah, sure.
It's still 32% strikeout percentage.
It's still relative. Okay, so that means he has a strikeout per walk ratio of 2.26. That's pedestrian for a relief pitcher, especially when you consider all the elite relief pitchers out there. This guy,
Jose Leclerc, is really good. Jose Leclerc.
I disagree. If you're gonna bash Jake McCarthy, then I for being too much like Tommy Edman, I get to bash.
Leclerc has shown way more than McCarthy ever did.
No, he hasn't.
Yes,
I've never liked Jose Leclerc. I think it's just the idea that one day he'll be healthy enough, but I don't believe in him what's so big. I mean, even in his better years, when he had like 70 games under his belt, 5.11 walk per 9 inning, which what is that? That was in 2019 before the pandemic. So what is that? That's a 2.56 walk.
I mean, his
strikeout per walk ratio.
Were 18 and 19, which were like kind of two extremes. But even like in 19, which was rabbit ball year, he had a 4.3 ERA, but an expected ERA of 2.93, a FIP a full run lower. So, like, what was he combined those 2 years? Let's just combine that up.
2018 with
a career ERA, or not career, ERA of 3 between 2018 and 2019, 3.06, 13.18 K per 9, 4.56 walks per 9.
Yeah, in 2018,
and he didn't give up home runs.
Yeah, that's the problem. In Texas, he didn't give up any home runs. Can you scream fluke here? Him with the 211 BABIP. Get out of here, Sean. No, I am not. Don't do it, people. Don't trick yourselves into believing it's Jose Leclerc. Don't do it. It's not worth it. All right, so you like that? My pick here that I like. I got to go with myself, Reed Detmers. No, I
do like the Detmers pick as well.
Too. Oh, I love the Reed Detmers, and I couple him with Charlie Morton, so that's the best part. I got to go with. I'll take Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery has been a guy that's around this time of the draft for starting pitchers. He's been kind of heralded as a guy that is the safest of all this, as safe as you get this late in the draft.
He's giving me like Marcus Stroman vibes from about 2 or 3 years ago.
He's going around the Marcus Stroman,
which is this is about where he went. 15th, 16th round. You don't expect strikeouts. You're just kind of expecting like the volume.
Yeah, that's what you need. Sometimes that's all you needed. I mean, that's how I was able to make the playoffs last year and make it to the Final Four, despite having on paper, it looked like a really crappy starting rotation. So let's go to round 9. Give me someone that you like here as well in round 9. I got a name if you're not ready, if you need more time. I got a name.
Go ahead. Give me
Dustin May for Andrew O'Sullivan's team. Dustin May, kicking myself that he wasn't ranked higher. I thought I ranked him pretty high, and apparently not high enough as he goes in the 9th round. I was hoping to get him back on my turn, but I did not. So I went with another Dodgers player, Evan Phillips. So hoping that that makes up for the fact that I missed it on Dustin May.
I know who I like this round.
Go ahead.
Mike Harvey going with the homer pick. Brendan Donovan showed a little bit of increased power this year.
Power. We're gonna bash Jake McCarthy, but we're gonna herald Brendan Donovan for taking baby steps forward. Get out of here.
He had 4 home runs this spring, and he had like 3 all year last year. I'm just saying.
It's just
at least Brendan Donovan has a good hit tool.
Was he in the WBC? Was he in the WBC this year? No, then I'm not interested.
Was Jake McCarthy?
Jake McCarthy does not need to be in the WBC.
Oh, okay. But no, that's the thing is we've talked about it over and over, Felipe. It is better for a player with a good hit tool to develop power than it is for somebody who doesn't have a good hit tool, aka McCarthy, to be good.
I disagree. This is a boring Fulmer pick right here for me. Like, I've had Brendan Donovan like numerous times up and down last year in all 3 of my teams, and he's just so boring. It's all no, I don't want this.
So he has 4 home runs this year in spring training.
It's just practice, man.
After having 5 all of last year.
It's just practice. Let's not do this.
Okay.
Let's not do this.
Moving on.
We're gonna celebrate one guy. We're gonna bash the other for the same.
No, it's not the same.
It's basically the same. It's basically
Jake McCarthy is not a good hitter. It's simple as that.
Donovan can't even get you stolen bases. Like, what is the point of him living? I want to know. Besides being able to play,
he had 2 stolen bases last year.
Oh wow! Watch out for this.
I'm getting him for batting average and on base. Anything else he gives me is gravy.
I do like the multi-positional eligibility. I like the fact that he qualifies everywhere because he's not good enough to be in one spot. He has to be like a jack of all trades.
What a
master of none.
backhanded compliment.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not. I will not allow this. I will not allow this. You constantly bashing Jake McCarthy.
Because he's not good.
He's fine. I'm not asking
Like,
to be
even
him to
in
be
the
good.
minors, Jake McCarthy wasn't good.
The reason we bring up Jake McCarthy was because he was killing it in the minors. That remember we had that show.
Oh, he had like 1 year or like half of a year.
That's all you need.
Oh,
That's all you need. He figured things out in a crowded Diamondbacks outfield. He figured things out, and now he's penciled in as a starter. That's a great story. That is a great
story.
Great story, and he has the numbers to back it up. All right. He won me a championship last year, I think. I think I had him in my
he was the one. He came up last year, like right at the tail end, and stole like 10 bases, and he did help people win some leagues.
All right, then. Shut you up. Let's go to round 10. Let's go to
here's your sign.
Players that you don't like in here. By the way, shout out as I start. Here Hannibal can go ahead and call me Homer here, as I went with Luis Arias as my Homer pick because he played with Team Mexico. But who did you not like in round 10? Wait, that's what we're doing, right? We're doing guys that Who did you not like in round 10?
I guess the Brandon Drury one. It seems a little early for him. We talked about him a lot last year. We obviously, but finally something we are back to agreeing on. We do not like Brandon Drury. So yeah, Brandon Drury's a picker.
Yeah. I was going to say
he bamboozled everyone with Great American Ballpark. It's okay. He's not the first person to do it. He won't be the last. Granted, I am all in on Will Myers this year. I have Will Myers in multiple spots. Because him in Great American Ballpark, he's going to give you 20 home runs and 20 steals. Calling it now.
I was going to say John Birdie, but I see that Hannibal goes with Austin Nola, which is as boring as a pick you can get. See, that's why I went Logan O'Hop, because then I would have been stuck with Austin Nola.
You see, this is the point. Like, catchers were just gone. Like,
I know they were gone. That's why I had to go.
It was ADP out the window with catchers. Everyone was just like, get your catchers when you can.
Yeah, not this catcher, though.
That's why I waited till like the last 3 rounds to get my 2 starters.
Yeah, but not this catcher. No, this is it right here. This is the pick. I was gonna go with John Birdie because I don't like John Birdie, but Austin Nola is even worse. So bad job, Hannibal. Bad job.
Speaking of Austin Nola, I was following on Twitter some of the high stakes players. Vlad Sedler, aka RotoGut, on Twitter. Really good follow if you don't follow him already. But he was at one of the main events in Vegas, or maybe he was at the New York one. And of course, they do live auction, and he almost put in a substantial bid on Austin Nola because he did not hear when the player's name was called. All he did was like he looked up and he saw Nola was good, or he heard Nola, and then he heard like $7, and he was like, "Oh, I'll bid like 12," and then he finally realized it was Austin Nola that was being auctioned off, not Aaron Nola. And I was like, "Ooh, that would have been embarrassing."
James is asking Pinos now. See, that's the thing. Now I see why Vince McMahon does not want to have 2 wrestlers by the same first name, because now I got to go by last names. So I'm dissing Handavote on the catcher, and so Pinos goes in and says, "Hey, who needs a catcher?" So I guess he has a lot of catchers. Then is that what it is?
Well, I guess.
I'm gonna look that up, but
I'll look.
You'll look. All right, let me know. Let's go to round 11, and I think we're still doing players that we did not like. I guess the name that sticks out for me, I'll start it out while you look up Pinos' catching situation.
That's why he has both William Contreras and Tyler Stevenson, as well as Jose Trevino. Homer.
That was a homer pick. Yeah.
And he has Gabriel Moreno in his minor league slot.
He's trying to corner the catching market. I see. Okay.
That's who does he think he is? Me? But granted, if one of your starting catchers is Tyler Stevenson, learn from me as someone who picked a lot of Tyler Stevenson in the last few years. Don't trade any of your catching depth. You're going to need it.
and Sean was very high on Stevenson. But by the way, if apparently I'm going to need catcher, so throw me an offer.
I really do like Tyler Stevenson this year because they only expect him to catch like 50 or 60 games, they said. The rest are going to be at DH and first base. So
I think I figured out who I don't like in round 11. And there's a lot of guys that I did not like here. Actually, just a handful, not a lot. But I think Gregory Soto is the one that sticks out the worst for me. It's a bad Phillies situation with the closers,
Yep,
and
it's
it's
a
Gregory
shit
Soto.
show.
It's
Yeah,
and it's
it's
Gregory
Gregory
Soto.
Soto.
So no, I was avoiding the Phillies bullpen by any means
I mean,
necessary.
the
So
Phillies bullpen is just Russian roulette at this point. Except instead of just one loaded bullet out of 6, there's like 4.
who's your guy that you don't like in this round?
uh,
Round 11.
don't really get the Matt Brash pick. Matt Brash is really talented. I don't think he has a high leverage role, so I wouldn't expect too many hold opportunities. Definitely down in the pecking order for saves.
I actually do like the Matt Brash pick.
I mean, I like Matt Brash. I'm just not sure if this is the time you get him.
Yeah, well, he was ranked as my 71st best relief pitcher coming into this draft. I ranked about 100, 115, so he was middle of the pack, or no, way past the middle of the pack. Sorry, but I like the projections that he's gonna get close to 30% strikeout rate, so that's worth it. I mean, we're gonna celebrate Jose Leclerc. Why can't we celebrate Matt Brash? I don't know.
Yeah, so they have on roster resource, they had him as one of the middle reliefs with Paul Sewald closing, Munoz being a setup, and Diego Castillo being a setup man. So
I had him listed as the sixth inning guy, which is pretty valuable in itself.
That's what roster resource basically has.
Oh, still okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to round 12. These are players that we did like, and you did mention Will Myers, who you picked up in the 12th round. But is there anybody else that you kind of tickled your fancy here?
Let's go with. Nope, that's about it. I mean, I like Josh Rojas, but he's oatmeal. That's about it. Yeah,
he's the Brendan Donovan of this round. Got it. He's the Brendan Donovan.
I guess Andrew Benintendi. This seems like pretty good value for Benintendi. Torkelson is nice considering what he went for last year, and he's been one of the unluckiest hitters in spring training this year. So hopefully, looking for a bounce back from Torque.
Oh, that trio of guys that went late, the outfielders that went late in this round, the Kevin Kiermaiers, Benintendis, and Whit Merrifields. I would say
Kevin Kiermaier there.
Well, I mean, he's still an outfielder, but
why are we drafting Kevin Kiermaier?
You're gonna have to ask Pinos about that. I was not impressed by Pinos' draft in this one. I'm very disappointed. I expected more from him, seriously. And I say that respectfully.
Especially with Benintendi and Merrifield, like obviously right there in the same range. Like, okay, two of these guys are good offensively, are not good, have been good offensively.
Yeah.
This guy has never been good offensively, aside from maybe like a 40-game stretch in his career.
It's all glove and no bat with Kevin Kiermaier. But yeah, like I said, Andrew Benintendi was the best player available. It was the best player who was selected among that trio of outfielders. My favorite pick, I got to go with myself, Alex Cobb. I am all in on the Alex Cobb train. I targeting him in all my drafts. The more I read about him, the better I like. He's giving me Kevin Gausman vibes, as the kids would say, the vibes. If not him, then Dylan Carlson. I do like the Cardinals outfield this year. Either Lars Nootbaar or Dylan Carlson, or even Tyler O'Neill. Ashamedly, maybe Tyler O'Neill, even though he comes with big strikeouts and a big mouth. But
I have Tyler O'Neill. I think there's one league where in NFBC where I have Bellinger, Buxton, and O'Neill. And I'm like, this outfield is either gonna boom or it's gonna bust. Like, there's no in between here.
And really quick shout out to Mike Harvey, who I've been bashing. I think I do like that Austin Hayes pick. I've always been a big fan of Austin Hayes, so maybe this is the year he figures things out. Let's go to round 13. Players that we liked here. Sean, do you have a name for me? Otherwise, I'll just shout one out.
13. We're going with
the likes.
Either a lot of good starting, well, not a lot of good starting, a couple of good starting pitchers here. My two favorite picks would be Patrick Sandoval and then my own Edward Cabrera, who I think is getting slept on for a guy who was of his prospect caliber and actually seemed to like put it together towards the end of last year. I mean, he just seems like a mini Alcantara. Like, he's throwing 90-mile-an-hour changeups, 99 sinkers. Like, it's nasty. So I have Edward Cabrera in a bunch of places. I'm glad I was able to get him here too. But Patrick Sandoval really do like, performed well in the WBC. Tyler Anderson, I'm skeptical of because it's the Angels and it's starting pitching, and he's a free agent starting pitching to make it even worse. But the trio of starters kind of towards the end with Anderson, Sandoval, and Cabrera.
I just realized we had comments. Pinos is saying that's why I kept Tyler because of the multi-position. I'm sorry, who's Tyler again? It's not Tyler.
Stevenson.
He has
Well,
multi-eligibility.
he's gonna get first base.
Oh, right. Henry agrees. I would have gone with Benintendi for sure. Henry's dissing me that Felipe's favorite pick was his own pick. No, I'm shocked. Get out of here. As Sean just mentions his own pick in round 13 as his favorite pick
I
as
mentioned
well.
Patrick Sandoval too. So
All right. Well, I mentioned the Cardinals outfield, Dylan Carlson as well. So Pinos explains himself about Kiermaier, and I like his honesty here. I reached for center field eligibility. In hindsight, I wasn't happy. So I appreciate the honesty. I really do. I responded back to Henry really quick, like about me picking my own pick as my favorite pick. Like, oh, well, you guys should try to make better picks so I can like them too. Henry agrees. I was hoping to get Sandoval make it back to me. Who got Patrick Sandoval here?
Leon. Who had a sneaky good draft. You mentioned it very briefly before, but he had a nice draft.
I like, because I was targeting Sandoval right here, and he just snatched them away from me. I was between Leon. I mentioned it before, and I guess I can include Leon. But I at this point, I'm just sick of being around you guys. I'm sick of Henry. I'm sick of you, especially you. I'm sick of Handeboat, and I'm sick of Leon because he got a lot of my players that I wanted in this draft too. So next year, I'm gonna suck ass next year so I can draft earlier and get my guys that I want. But
get away from us back at the tail end of the draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna tank this season on purpose. That's why I made the picks that I made. All right, so my favorite pick in this round was Nate Ovaldi. No, I'm joking. No, it would have been Sandoval, obviously, because I got stuck with Ovaldi. I like Eric Whitlock. I like Edward Cabrera. I gotta give a shout out to Jacob because I've been not been too friendly with him in this draft. The Marcus Stroman one is Marcus Stroman's a guy I try my best to target, and it just wasn't working. I just couldn't get him.
Yeah,
circumstantially.
I'm kind of out on him this year. I've been in on him the last 2 years just as the Jordan Montgomery type of like volume filler, but
that's the reason to get him though. I mean, at this point, it's a nice safe pick. It's a volume pick. While you take chances on the Edward Cabreras of the world, you can couple that guy with a guy like Marcus Stroman or Jordan Montgomery. So, and then Marcus Stroman comes with a cheaper price tag apparently. So it's a better Cubs team this year. I think we shouldn't give up too much. We shouldn't give up too much hope on Marcus Stroman this season. Let's go to round 14. Guys that we don't like. Well, we're right off the bat. Jarred Kelenic, right? That's the worst pick of this group, right? Just say it.
I don't know.
I don't know. He was my pick, so I'm not going to agree with that. No, I'm just joking.
Jurickson Profar, granted, had Profar signed by this point of the draft?
I think he did.
I think he had
because he was nowhere near a draft board. I can assume.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Profar.
I kind of like him.
Thursday, the 15th, 16th, whatever that was.
What was the question?
What you asked when the draft started?
Oh, right. Yeah, it was after I got back from the WBC from Arizona, so it was mid-March.
Yeah,
he wasn't signed
like last Tuesday or Wednesday. I think So maybe we were around that point at this time.
I was gonna say.
Oh no.
Wait, we're doing guys that we don't like. I actually like Profar in Colorado. I think that's gonna suit him well.
Yeah, we'll see.
Excuse me, guys.
I thought this was an interesting Oscar Colas pick. I know he's had a lot of helium from spring training this year, and really kind of rocked it up from like outside looking into almost a lock for the opening day lineup. So I like the kind of risk here. I normally don't like risk, but I like the risk.
No, but we're doing guys that we don't like. So
we're doing guys. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so otherwise we'll be here forever. You already said the Profar, so I'll take that. Profar, I'm gonna have to go, and I do have a question about Noah Syndergaard, but I have to go with Jarred Kelenic. Of all the players that were available, that's way too risky. I think
he's starting. He's starting.
And we'll see how that works out. But we've been through this train before with Seattle. All right, we've been with this already. I get it. Post hype prospect sleeper. I get it, but no, man. The big strikeouts are and the failed attempts are just too fresh in my mind. I wouldn't have gone this route. Although I'll tell you that he's better than Kevin Kiermaier at this point. And there was a big controversy with Noah Syndergaard in my Mardi Gras league. There was a big fight in the chats about it, as one guy was dissing the pick, and the guy who made the pick of Noah Syndergaard was defending it. Final verdict on Noah Syndergaard going to the Dodgers and going to Hannibal's team.
I don't know. It's the spring training, like the velo's been like 94, like maybe a slight tick up, but then it's also backed up a couple of times. So it kind of looks like he's in the same situation he was last year. they do have him getting his slider thrown more. I'm not sure if it's more of a cutter or not. But that was a pitch that, of course, was really what propelled him to ace levels to go along with that premier velocity. But coming off of Tommy John, he was hesitant to throw it, was throwing more fastballs and changeups. So it'll be interesting to see if what the pitch mix looks like this year. I think that'll determine a lot.
To round 15 we go. We go on this haterade train here. There's some guys that
There's
I
some
don't like
guys
here at all. But do you have a name for me ready or no?
That I don't like. It's gonna be probably Escobar. I mean, he's officially the opening day third baseman. I get it, but I don't like that pick.
I don't like it either.
I don't think he's going to be the starting third baseman for very long.
Yeah, and that was going to be my pick, and that was the thing with when I was reviewing Jacob's team. Like, man, if Jacob can just lay off the homer picks and actually pay attention, and because let's be real about it, right? Every year we go, all right, who hasn't met their pitching requirements this week, this period, and his name shows up a lot.
Yeah.
If he just pays a little bit more attention, because he had a hell of a draft, but if he can avoid the homer picks and he can just pay attention and actually keep up with his lineup, I think he's championship material every season. He is.
Yeah, he's got a solid lineup. Acuna, Harper, Machado, Alonso, Jimenez, Pena.
That's killer right there.
Yeah.
I honestly believe if he just tries a little harder, and I'm not calling him out, but I am calling him out. I want to see more from him. I think he's championship material.
Javier, Wheeler. He doesn't have a lot of starting pitching depth. I feel like that's a roster construction issue there. As he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 position players on the
M's in his bank account. M's in his bank account.
And he's got 2 starting pitchers in his back pocket, and Soroka and Stroman. And Soroka's not even going to be on the big league roster. So
no, but there was a lot of good things from this draft from him. Like, I normally, you know me, I try to see the weaknesses in everybody, but I actually like this draft. And again, just a call out, just, I don't want to see his name show up. Oh, he missed the mark. He didn't get the minimum inning requirements. Like, I don't want to see his name like consistently, because we did see his name a lot show up last year. And that's not a injuries issue, or that's not a bad picks issue, or that's like, I don't know what I'm doing on the waiver wire. That's just, I'm not paying attention to, because I don't know. I'm not gonna. I know people have lives and people are busy, but if he shows a little commitment, I think he's championship material. I really do. So there's the challenge to him if he wants it. So since you got Escobar, I'm gonna go with Luis Garcia. I know that's an auto pick by Jets team, but yeah, Luis Garcia, and maybe even Joey Wendell. I don't know.
You see the Luis Garcia pick, like all of these Washington guys we saw. I think the round prior was when CJ Abrams went. I haven't gotten a lot of shares of them, but I'm interested to see what these like really young players in Washington do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they have literally nothing to lose. Like, it's not like they're going to get benched. Like, they're just going to go out there and they're going to play. And
I agree with that.
Anytime you get somebody with like 650 plate appearances, like, it makes you be like, okay, what's his like end of season run total going to look like, or stolen bases going to look like? So, well, I don't want to hate on the Washington picks too much this year.
Relatively speaking, though, those are the two names to hate on: Joey Wendell and Luis Garcia. So flip a coin and go with whomever you don't like. I guess I like Luis Garcia a little bit more than Joey Wendell, but I feel like I also haven't been mentioning Jet's name a lot. So I definitely been mentioning Pinos' name a lot. So let's go with someone that we like. Let's give these guys a chance to redeem themselves in round 16. Who do you like here in round 16?
Let's go with maybe Wisniewski is probably the one I like here. If I can't say Julian myself, I might have to wait on Julian a little bit, but
I'm in the same.
Wisniewski getting the 5th rotation spot. This was an ugly round. I don't like any of this. This should be the one that we should focus more on hating than liking, but those are the breaks.
It was a tough choice for me here, because I was either going to go Dre Jamison or even maybe Hayden Wisniewski, but I do like the Diamondbacks prospects at pitching, and I think Henry went with Brandon Pafat.
Yeah, and then I picked up Brian Nelson, I believe.
And I
have the third part of that competition.
Yeah, so I wanted some share of that, but yeah, this is between the 15 and 16 round. This is where I got to get my prospects in right now. In the previous run, I got Andy Rodriguez because I feel like I needed a third catcher. And again, planting seeds for later. I love Andy Rodriguez's makeup. I love his upside. And interesting story, Sean. It was going to be Andy Rodriguez or some other prospect, Shane Langoliers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I was willing to wait on Shane Langoliers to be a catcher because he's only qualified DH right now. But I just love Andy Rodriguez's game, so that's why I picked him there.
I just don't think he's going to play it all this year.
I think they're going to call him up
level.
sometime, and when they call him up, he's going to be the best catcher available, and I'm going to have him. I'm going to have him in my back pocket. So, but Dre Jameson, I felt like I needed to get a draft pick, so that's why I did it this way. But otherwise, yeah, I was thinking of Hayden Wisniewski as well. So yeah, we'll see how that works out for me. Maybe in retrospect, Hayden Wisniewski would have been the right move, but I am enamored with Dre Jameson. Besides my pick, because I only like my picks. I don't like anybody else's picks. No, I'm joking. Let's go with I guess Nick Gordon. Yeah, give some equal time to Jacob. Nick Gordon. I like the multi-position eligibility and the fact that he might get some more playing time this year. He's been a guy that we've been kind of waiting on for the Twins as well, as circumstances get in the way of him getting regular playing time. Round 17, who do we love here?
17, who do we like?
Taiwan Walker, he was in Team Mexico this year, right?
That's I'm just not a huge fan of Taiwan in Philly with his profile. I like Estuary Ruiz here. I feel like that's a good price for the upside.
I was gonna mention him too. That's my guy.
And then I was really shocked that David Peterson made it this far. Because this is basically round 26. Yeah, I really thought that James was going to pick him the way that James was drafting. David Peterson basically guaranteed a spot in the rotation with Jose Quintana out. Some might argue that David Peterson probably just deserved it more than Quintana, just based on merit, but was kind of assigned to that depth role because he has options. But yeah, David Peterson, I was really happy to get here, but really like that Estuary Ruiz because I think that's a guy who could like Washington. Oakland has no reason not to play him,
and they have no one else either.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? Put Christian Pache back in center field again? No, it's not happening. This is Estuary Ruiz time. He's got all that space out there. Let the man run.
Yeah, and I just what do you call it? I just picked them up last night too in the podcast league, so I was very happy about that. But I had a feeling that he wasn't. I was hoping that he'd come back to me. I really was. That's why I got stuck drafting Jake Fraley, who I really like this season anyway. But I don't need that many left fielders, so it was going to be the Ruiz or Fraley. So I got Fraley, and JD Davis, and that's the thing that's another one. Hand the vote. If he could just, because he's not only homer picking his own team, but he's picking the ex-Mets players as well, and that really was.
Well, you see, the thing is, I don't mind
head scratcher for me.
I don't mind the JD Davis pick there. The only thing I worry about, because in terms of skill set, I feel like this is probably a value pick in terms of skill set. I just worry about how much playing time he gets. That's the deal, and that's why. Time here. And that's why I don't like the Michael Conforto draft selection either, because I don't know what the Giants are going to do. They can say that he's going to start, but we've known the last 2 or 3 years that they love platooning players, and I'm the guy who picked up Mike Yastrzemski in the next round. But Mike Yastrzemski has multi position eligibility, and he's a mainstay of that team. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And he hasn't been gone from the league for the last 2 or 3 seasons, and he knows how to hit in San Francisco. I mean, he almost won MVP in 2020, was it right? Or he was an MVP candidate, I should say. He was, at least that's what people were telling me. That's what people were telling me early on in 2020. Anyway, let's go back. I'm gonna go, since you're going Ruiz, let's just go with James Karinchak as a safe pick for me. Yep. As a guy I like. Oh, again, Jacob Moses. I told you I like. Good guy to get holds. Good guy to get holds. Lots of Ks.
Yeah, I told you I like Jacob's draft, so there's no excuse for him to fail. I mean, aside from the force majeure things that can happen, injuries or whatever, or people losing spots and all the other intangibles that come with it, but I'm just saying, man, if he tries a little hard this year, he could win. He could contend for championships this year. Guys that we don't like in round 18, Sean.
Oh, guys we don't like. I want to pat myself on the back here.
Or Blake Sable?
Oh, Blake
No, you've already done that enough. See, I get accused of doing that.
Everybody else had both catcher slots filled. And this is now round 18, which with the 9 keepers is what, 27? I did not have one catcher yet. And I feel like with Blake Sable, I am coming away with a top 5 catcher. I don't know what to tell you guys. He's been
No,
the
no,
best.
no. This is
He's
bull.
been
This
the
is
best.
bull.
He's been the best hitter in spring training. You go back, you look at his
Just
minors
practice.
numbers. Yeah, it's just practice. You say it, and all I hear is Anthony's voice. But he.
We
If
don't
you
know
go
what
back,
Anthony sounds like though.
if you go back, oh, I do. I've met him in person.
Oh, you met him before.
Yeah.
Well, really quick, I just want to do this. I'm looking at the chat right now, hoping and seeing who's gonna hate on Sean for always picking his picks as his favorite picks. But when I do it, oh fuck this Felipe guy. All he does is compliment himself. No, screw you, Sean. All you do is compliment your own damn draft picks. And Jacob's on the chat saying injuries usually kill me at the end. Hey, that's when injuries are a part of the game, man. You got to go up and step up and work that waiver wire like everybody else does, man. I think you have potential this year, and if you just do a little bit of that more, because we see everything, Jacob. We see. We are all ubiquitous, us commissioners. We see everything. I honestly do believe you're championship material this year, Jacob. All right, come on, guy that you don't like, or
guy that I don't like.
Round 18.
Let's go.
I'll say Kyle Farmer, but that's an auto pick, so it doesn't really count. But Kyle Farmer is so boring to me. I don't like this at all.
No, thank you.
He wasn't even on my draft board. He was on my draft sheets this year. So
maybe Josh Naylor, just because I worry about his plate appearances. With Josh Bell coming in, does Naylor even have a job as either DH?
Yeah, I actually
roster resource.
I've actually been picking up a lot of Josh Naylor because I do believe in him as a late corner infield.
Okay, so roster resource has him starting at first base and Bell DHing.
Yeah, and then Naylor doesn't have much competition. Gabriel Arias?
Okay, I'm looking at roster resource right now, and they have Cleveland carrying 3 catchers: Mike Zunino, Cam Gallagher, and Mabrys Valoria. What?
Oh, so that means what's his face is not going to make the team then.
Bo Naylor?
Yeah, Bo Naylor.
Oh yeah, he was optioned like 2 weeks ago when he left for when he was away at the WBC because he was playing for Team Canada.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
He was in the WBC and got optioned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna. Yeah, there's no way that Naylor's gonna lose at bats to those bums. I'm sorry. Maybe, but the real concern with Naylor is if he doesn't pan out, Cleveland is loaded.
Yep.
In their minor league system. So I look forward to see who comes up.
The thing that I kind of think of here is that if Naylor or Bell struggles, you could move Bell back to first base. You could DH Oscar Gonzalez, and then you put Will Brennan in the outfield.
Yeah.
And then you have a really good outfield defensively, and one that can really hit between Quan Brennan and Miles Straw, even having like a bit of a comeback in spring training this year, hitting over 300.
And one guy I'm going to mention that I did not like because it's not fair because Jet was an auto pick for most of the draft. So I don't know if he actually made that or that's the robot doing it. But the one pick that I don't like here is Eduardo Rodriguez. Avoid all the Tigers as much as you can, guys. Eduardo Rodriguez, all he'll do is break your heart. And then Aaron, gets back-to-back picks from 18 to 19. So she goes Eduardo Rodriguez and then immediately follows up with Joey Gallo.
I don't hate it. I don't
like it either.
I actually don't mind that duo. I'd much rather this year have Eduardo Rodriguez than Marcus Stroman at the price.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No
I go
way.
Like, what 4 rounds, 5 rounds later? Yeah, I'll take Eduardo Rodriguez.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not taking Eduardo Rodriguez. No, don't do that. Guys, don't do that. Take Marcus Stroman and thank me later. You don't want Eduardo Rodriguez on your team. I'll tell you that. And you definitely don't want Joey Gallo in this league either because of the strikeouts. He's still going to strike out a lot. Ban the shift, don't ban the shift. He's still going to strike out a lot. But to his credit, he does walk a lot too. So maybe there is something to that. But I mean, it's home run or bust with that guy. And we saw the quirky realignments that they're doing in spring training from time to time. They're still doing some variation of the shift. It's just not the traditional extreme shift that we got used to. I don't think
many teams are actually going to do that shift where they bring the left fielder over to be the rover, because the reason
not yet at least.
Yeah, the reason teams were willing to overshift on lefties to begin with was if they went the other way, it likely wasn't going to be hit that hard, and it's a single. But if you take the left fielder and you put him over there behind second or between first and second, anything to the left side over the third baseman's head is extra bases, guaranteed. I mean, even Daniel Vogelbach, that'd be extra bases.
Well, there's a reason why they do it. There's a reson why teams were.
I think they're just experimenting it. Yeah, because you might want to use it in certain situations, but
I think it'll work. I think it's still the idea of taking away those singles. I mean, you give away a single to Joey Gallo, it's not going to hurt you. When we've seen what the shifts have done to guys like Freddie Freeman, who are excellent hitters, and yet when you look at how they're doing it against the extreme shift, their batting averages are up, but everything else is down. No home runs, no on base.
Yeah, I mean that was the
low
thing.
slugging.
Teams were willing to. Okay, I will make Freddie Freeman beat me with singles, then let him pull, a home run. Like the teams were willing to do that. That was kind of why I feel like MLB had to, or felt why they had to step in, was because teams didn't care if their opponent beat the shift.
All right, here you go, Mr. Gallo. 49% career pull rate versus 21% opposite field rate. That's not changing. That's not going to change even with the shift being gone. So
yeah, but I want to say his his fly ball spray is not as heavily skewed as you would think. Like his fly ball rate is, I don't want to say like equal, but I'd have to go back and look at it. But it's less pull heavy than when he hits it on the ground.
It's still the last few years. Actually, his career is over 50% fly ball rate. I know that's not the spray you're looking for, but it's still 51%. So it's either a home run or he's flying out. And God forbid he grounds out to the second base side and short right field. So anyway, well, I guess that would be my guy. Then Brandon Marsh was also a bad pick here in round 19. Elvis Andrews is not a guy I like, but again, that's the auto pick going to Jets team. Anybody that you don't like in this round?
Trevor Story, because he's not really going to play.
I actually do like Trevor Story here. I actually do.
What is he supposed to be? I thought he was out for the year.
I thought he was coming back.
He fielded grounders 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Whatever that means. I know what it means, but
what's his injury?
Along in the process. It was he had Tommy John, I think.
Oh, did he now? Oh.
Yeah, I want to say that was or he had like the stabilizing brace put in, which is like the faux Tommy John that Kenta Maeda had.
I see. I honestly, I thought it was another like oblique injury.
No, it's I think it was the stabilizing brace thing.
I feel like that's like every player known to man, they all have obliques around this time of year. Let's see here.
Right elbows, internal bracing procedure of the UCL on his right elbow in January.
Okay.
So that one, it doesn't take as long as Tommy John, but
yeah.
So maybe he comes back. I guess you just stash him on the.
Well, I don't think it's the same situation, but Bryce Harper was able to play through it. So.
Yeah, but then Bryce had to actually have Tommy John. He never had the bracing. He just
no. But he still played. He came back and still played, and.
Well, that's because he didn't have surgery.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still.
Story had surgery.
Oh, I thought you said he didn't have the surgery.
No,
I'm sorry.
Trevor Story did have the internal bracing surgery in January. Okay. Yeah, so he's.
Well, we have 3 IL slots for a reason. He's eligible to return in July 14th. Again, that's one of those that you plant the seeds and hope for the best. It's a risk because he's a little bit older, but it's still Trevor Story, and I still want to see what he can do in Boston with the Green Monster and tow there. So it's not like they're not going to try to play him. They're not going to bench him, and there's too much money involved in there. So, and for a second baseman with some power, I still think he has a little bit of power in his bat still. So that's my optimism there. And I'm usually the most pessimistic person you'll ever find. We're done. Okay, I got to ask, what's the deal with Brian De La Cruz? He was also selected around this time in last night's draft as well. Am I missing something with Brian De La Cruz?
He's had multiple stints where he's been really good and really just like one stint where he was really bad. The only thing I worry about, I do think he's one of their 3 best outfielders, but one, he has options. 2, he's getting paid pennies. So right now they actually have him making the opening day lineup. And it seems to be in a platoon with Jesus Sanchez, according to Roster Resource.
So all the more reason to hate that pick. Okay. Not good.
I mean, I like De La Cruz.
I don't like it.
Who? Brian De La Cruz.
Oh, I thought you said Vogelbach. Wait, why are we talking about Vogelbach?
No, Brian De La Cruz. Like he's a good offensive player. I mean, Houston had him, liked him for a reason, and then traded him. But when he came back up last year at the end, he was like really good.
Nah, I'm not a fan. Let's see here. We got 2 De La Cruzes here. I got Ellie, and I should have Brian on my spreadsheet here. Brian De La Cruz was the 240th best player on my sheet here. I don't know how many players have gone in this draft, including the keepers and the minor leaguers. Let's see if I can find anything that's worthy of note here. Okay, decent on base percentage. Projected to get a WRC plus of 110, so that's good. 178 ISO. Okay, so maybe I'm turning around on Brian De La
Yeah.
Cruz.
So yeah, Brian De La Cruz
But
came up at the end of 2021 after that trade, and he was like pretty good. Like as like the fourth outfielder, started playing more, and so
here it
he
is.
made the roster this year and was terrible in the first half to the tune of a 610 OPS and a 72 WRC plus. Um, went down to the minors, came back up, and in the second half of 2022 hit 310, 342, 535, good for a 146 WRC plus. Granted, there was about a 133-point jump in BABIP between the first half 248 and second half 381. Likely, he's probably somewhere in the middle. So instead of being like a 310 hitter, he's 280, 320, and like 475, 460 maybe.
That might be too friendly for him. But here's the problem here, Sean. We're Brian De La Cruz, 0.26 walk per strikeout ratio. Bum. Doesn't know the strike zone. Let's move on to round 20.
He likes to hit the ball.
I understand. There's aggressiveness involved. Aggressiveness is good if you are able to
walk
produce.
off the island.
Damn, you're gonna use that one, huh? Okay.
It's true. Like
Hawk Flannery over here. Hawk Flannery. I forgot the dude's real name. Hawk Harrelson. I forgot his real name though.
Hawkeye?
No, Iowa. No. Let's go around 20 guys that we like, and I'm gonna start out Ross Stripling, and I hope Henry's here to hear this because I don't want to hear that.
I honestly thought you would pick Ross Stripling, and I was like, oh shit, he's doing it again. Henry, come get his ass, come drag him.
No, I was gonna pick him in this round, and Henry took him away from me. So here's my compliment because I hope he's here because I was ready to because I the only reason I picked Jose Urquidy is because I know that you were drafting after me, so I know you like him as well. So that's
I don't think I was really even looking at Urquidy at this point.
Yeah, I know you've you've spoken highly of him in the past.
I like him more than most.
So I was
I
gonna
don't think
say
he's great. I just like him more than most.
Yeah, same. I just left a little, and Homer bias as well. This is the issue, right? This is I'm proof of it this year, guys. This is what happens when you go Homer pick crazy, and I'm pretty good about limiting myself to the Cubs and White Sox, but Team Mexico, I went full homer in all my drafts this year. Shame on me. I am not practicing what I preach. But were you even there in the WBC, bro?
Were you even there?
Were you even there? You had to be there. But yeah, before I get accused of only liking my players, Henry, I hope you're here to listen because I'm paying you a compliment and bypassing myself here because I was forced to pick Mike Clevenger because of it. I guess I could do worse than Mike Clevenger in this round. But Ross Stripling was my guy. And disappointed, Sean. I did not get Ross Stripling in any of my drafts after speaking so highly of him this winter. I whiff on Ross Stripling, and he goes to Henry's team. So kudos to Henry for doing that pick. What's your guy? Who's your guy here that you like?
Let's go with Trevor May. I feel like that'll be a good relief pitcher to kind of plug in the first half. You'll get saves, and then in the second half, when he inevitably gets traded, you'll get some holds. I think the strikeouts are there. It's a pitcher-friendly ballpark, so shouldn't hurt the ratios too bad. And his issue's always been kind of like lots of fly balls, lots of home runs, but pitching in Oakland, I feel like mitigates some of that risk.
Can we talk about Adalberto Mondesi really quick? I know we're way past the time here, but we're going as fast as we can.
We're coming up right on an hour and a half, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's usually the norm here.
Yeah.
Adalberto Mondesi, I was really considering him around this part of the draft, but I even when he was at his peak, I still tried my best not to get him because stolen bases are great. It's everything else that sucks.
It's everything else that sucks.
But round 20, he might be back, just like Trevor's story. He might be back sometime in the middle of the year, if not sooner. Do you like that pick? Yes or no?
At that price, there's really no real risk.
Right.
And it's one of those dart throws that could really pay dividends at the end of the year, like if he comes back. We don't know what the speed's going to look like post ACL surgery.
Right.
But you think with his batted ball profile, he was always a bit of a pull heavy guy. He's got the monster. Well, he's a switch hitter, so I guess no, he's not going to benefit from the monster as much. But we'll see. I mean,
Let's
he's
see.
only, like 12 still?
What does his birth certificate say?
I mean, he can't be that old. Like he's, I think, 27, 28.
Okay. All right, and we have some missing picks here because
27.
oh, okay.
It feels like Mondesi's been around for so long to be 27.
Yeah, I mean he was, I think he was brought up as a teenager, if not 20-year-old, I
He
think.
made his debut in the 2015 World Series. First,
That's right.
I think he was the first player ever to make his major league debut in the World Series.
Yeah, Royals had some promise back then too, not just the veteran players, but they also had some young players to couple with that. Remember Jordan Ventura
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, rest in peace. All right, round 21, and you'll see that there's 3 picks missing because of things. Don't worry, they're not anything to brag about, so we're not going to mention them unless you have them ready.
Yeah, I have them ready. That would be Patrick Corbin going to Leon. He said he was sipping on that Washington Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's a homer pick. At least he admits to it.
Jet went with Shintaro Fujinami, aka the great value Otani, and then Henry went with Nick Pivetta, who is still a thing.
Boring picks. All right, so they're not worth mentioning, but is there anybody else that you like here?
Feel like it's not terrible value on Oscar Gonzalez, and I really enjoyed making Miles Straw Mr. Irrelevant. I don't really have a roster spot for him, but it's one of those guys where, like, if he somehow recovers some of that offensive ability that he showed before, and he's stealing bases with these new rules, like, I gotta find a spot for him. I mean, just because he's such like an easy write-in for stolen bases.
There's a lot of players I like here. I'm obviously I can't fit them all on my roster, so just a quick shout out to Jacob for picking Oscar Gonzalez, Andrew for picking Reynaldo Lopez, even Handleboat for picking Shane Langoliers, and I'll even pat myself on the back, because apparently that's all I do on this podcast, is pat myself on the fucking back here. Anthony DeSclafani, that's my great value. Who did I miss that on? Ross Stripling. It's my great value, Ross Stripling. And now we get to the grades
You
portion
just have
of it
all of the San Francisco starters.
I was getting ready to get Sean Manaea too, and he went off the board too quickly for me. All right, so here we go. This is what it looks like. These are not my colors, guys. These are Fantrax. But you know, we already mentioned the picks, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Here's where I give everybody grades. So I hope you guys are listening, so I'm not gonna share this anytime soon. So this is an exclusive to the podcast. Aaron gets a C- for me. Just way too many homer picks that she had to reach for. I get it. First pick overall, you have to reach for some players. But yeah, the Javier Baez was a knock against her. Why are you picking Javier Baez? I mean, and Ryan
Javier
McMahon.
Baez and Joey Gallo.
And Ryan McMahon.
She is setting some strikeout records this year.
This woman last year was giving me so much crap about drafting Wilson Contreras. Oh, have fun with the strikeouts. Well, guess what? Wilson Contreras ended up being one of the best catchers last year, okay? Boom. And Gregory Soto. No, I'm going to drop it to a D at this point. No, C- for her. Angel Morales, he's very consistent. He got a C+ last night. He's getting a C+ for me tonight, or in this draft as well. Got off to a decent start, but then I don't know, he made some questionable moves, and it just shows that he really needs my spreadsheets.
It's one of those things where he kept 5 pitchers, 5 starters, and Gallen, McClanahan, Nola, Urias, and Strider, and then he already had Judge and Trout. So it's like you had the good core there. I don't know. It's for the keepers that he had, I would have hoped for a little bit of a better team.
Oh, yeah. I just saw a headline. You'll enjoy this one. The Cincinnati Reds are going to pay Ken Griffey Jr. with the 4th highest salary on the team, as he's going to earn $3.6 million due to the deferred payment. So it's not just a Bobby Bonilla thing. Reminder.
Yep.
But it's not as fun. It's not as fun as Bobby Bonilla. That'll always be the thing. Sorry, Sean. The Mets fucked up. I really gotta stop the story. I do apologize for it. It's draft day, draft week. It's so emotional. James Pinos gets a D+. Too many homer picks, and I already bashed a lot of your picks. I expected better from you. I've seen better from you. So I don't know if it's because you realize that this is the last year and you don't like the keepers that you had, so you're just kind of setting up for next year. I don't know what the plan is. I know that he got a lot of Yankee prospects at the end, a lot of Yankee upside guys at the end, but still, I don't know. Even without the homer picks, it was still disappointing to see. Jet, I know he's on the auto draft, so I gave him a solid C for his efforts. There's a lot of picks I like. I mean, I seen it right there. Jeffrey Springs, Roddy Tellez.
I mean, it's not a terrible lineup. Like it's not a sexy lineup. It doesn't have like one big name aside from Altuve, who's now hurt.
Yeah.
But I mean, that really kills his lineup.
Yeah, it sounds like a C lineup. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mike Harvey was very disappointed when I was doing the pick by pick in my mind as I'm looking at these. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of safe picks, like almost too safe. Like there's no risks. It's just safe floor guy. There's such a thing as being too safe. You got to have some nice balance, I think. And it's a bunch of veterans. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but there's very limited upside. And as you know, as Mario Margola used to say on these airwaves on this podcast, is you could go with the safe picks, but that just means you're gonna have a fourth place finish every season. So Harvey gets a C- from me. Jacob Moses, I already complimented him. He gets a B+. He could have been higher, but again, some of the Mets picks were a little bit too early for my taste. And I understand. Listen, guys, I understand. There's way too many Mets fans on this league, right? I just being real. It's the same thing with the Yankee, the Yankee price tag on everything. Even when there are no Yankee fans, so the Yankee price tag is a real thing. It's the most popular team in the world in terms of baseball. High profile names, of course, are going to be a high price tag. And in this league, the Mets price tag gets inflated because there's a lot of Mets fans. I get it, but it's what I say. Like, well, you mentioned it earlier. When people are zigging, you gotta find a way to zag. Yeah. So, but otherwise, it would have been a higher grade. But B+ is pretty solid. Andrew O'Sullivan gets a B from me. There's a lot that I liked early on, and then I mean the Dustin May pick is a robbery, and then it falls apart. I don't like the Spencer Torkelson. Christian Vasquez is okay, but that's just that he's just okay.
My thing with his Spencer Torkelson pick is like he's not banking on him to be like a starter right away, and I think the price reflected that because he already has Matt Olson, who I think Matt Olson could be an absolute monster this year.
All right, well, let's see who else is available. And let's put that to the test. I mean, there's Dylan Carlson. I would have taken him over Torkelson, Alex Cobb, Josh Rojas. I don't know about Josh Rojas. Josh Rojas is a wash for me. I would have gone with Edward Cabrera, get with Whitlock, Nate Ovaldi, Tyler Anderson, Patrick Sandoval. I don't know what his pitching situation is. I'm just naming players who were better than Spencer Torkelson in my viewpoint. Okay. Marcus Stroman, Rafael Montero, Hassan Kim, Eric. Oh, not Eric. Oh, sorry. I don't like that pick. And then we go on to the 14th round. Gratterall was available. Alec Thomas, you want an upside pick. That would have been a better pick, in my viewpoint. Oscar Colas was we complimented that pick when it was talked about, and I would have gone with Isaac Paredes if he's looking for a first baseman. I think Paredes qualifies everywhere, so there's that.
Go team. Paredes is only first and third.
Go Team Mexico, regardless. And
that's why.
and then Homer picks, right?
It took me a second.
And then Jared Kelenic, I think would have been if you're looking for risk, if you're looking for upside. Jared Kelenic was there as well, so there was better options. So that's why he gets a knock on his grade, but still a solid B. I like a lot of the things that he did. I just not enough for me to give it a higher grade. James Handebode gets a solid C+. Just it's the Mets thing. You got to stop doing that. Otherwise, it would have been a much higher grade. But he needs to be taught
with what McNeil, Conforto,
he needs to be taught a lesson. Stop doing the Mets picks. No,
so he had what? That's a 4 or 5. 5 yeah.
Too many
current and or former Mets. Oh, Cano. So that's another one. Shit.
Too many. Even Sean's like saying oh shit to that. And then the Craig Kimbrell was the final draw. That's been like the final contention point for me. Anybody drafting Craig Kimbrell does not get a higher grade.
Wait,
so
he didn't draft Craig Kimbrell, did he?
Okay, so you bets I'm winning. So I'm looking down. I just saw him. Oh, no, never mind. I'm thinking of somebody else. Well, Christian Pache, we know he sucks. JP Crawford, we know he sucks. So,
Jake McCarthy, we know he sucks.
Noah Syndergaard was a homer pick, even though it's an ex-Mets. Michael Conforto, that makes more sense. I was looking at the wrong team, but still, that's still C+. I don't like some of these picks. We knocked the Austin Nola pick earlier. I don't like Merrill Kelly. I do like Jake McCarthy, but still, Matt Chapman early on in the draft.
Christian Pache can't be your starting center fielder in a 12-team league.
We've been warning you guys about Christian Pache for like the last 2 seasons already. So, and then take it from me. I actually drafted Christian Pache at the very beginning of this round of keepers, and I learned the hard way that you're not supposed to do that. So, Felipe with the 10th pick, well, I gave myself an A+. I gave myself an A+.
Of course, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I gave myself an A+ in the other last night's draft as well. And if you just humor me for just a bit,
just throwing it on the bell curve.
Yeah, hold on. I got something for you. This is what I said about myself last night in our podcast league Facebook page. Felipe Milicio gets an A+. Never in the history of fantasy baseball has there ever been a more perfect draft from anybody on the planet. Plus, he was hosting and calling out all the draft picks. Felipe, you are the real MVP.
Oh,
I mean,
whoever wrote that has a way with words.
well, I think he used to be a former sports writer for a little bit as well. He's an excellent writer too, from what I hear. That's not what I'm saying. That's what I've read other people saying that about this person. So, but yeah, Felipe gets an A+. I mean, come on, this. I don't want to go through it again. It was a perfect draft.
I'm not sure how I feel about your starting pitching. It feels weak.
No, just planting seeds, man. Planting seeds.
It feels weak. The relief pitching is awesome.
I will say this:
is awesome, but the starting pitching gives me a little bit of pause.
Last year's starting pitching, I feel, was much worse than this year's. After the draft, last year's my starting pitching was way worse, I think, than this year. So I have that going for me. Henry gets a C, and I don't know why. Oh yeah, Lucas Giolito. I'm kind of, concerned about that. The George Springer and too many risks early on in the drafts. I do like this combination of Vaughn Grisham and Ezekiel Tovar. So, but then he got Seth Brown, who I'm not a believer in. I don't like the Seth Brown pick. Not too happy about the Josh Rojas pick. I know you are, but I'm not.
I mean, it's a solid pick. It's not a league winner. It's just a place filler.
Right. And then the Cal Quantrill, when there were plenty of high upside guys available, he goes Cal Quantrill. Not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of Lourdes Gurriel.
I like his relief, like your team. I love his relief pitching, and I hate his rotation.
Yeah.
I hate his starting pitching. I mean, Giolito and Flaherty as like your 1-2, that works about 3 years ago. It doesn't work now. I mean, I'm expecting Flaherty to have like a bit of a comeback this year, but that is awfully risky.
Yeah, and he's banking on bounce backs, but you're now depending on a lot of bounce back players, and it's just way too many risks taken so unnecessarily when there were safer choices out there.
My favorite starter for him is Zach Eflin, if that says anything.
Yeah, that's another red flag. And then Sean gets the B- from me because screw you. That's why I'm so sick of you. I would look for a new podcast partner, but you keep showing up every Sunday. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to give you the benefit of going. Oh, I thought I was still sharing my screen. My bad.
No.
Oops. But anyway, no, screw you, Sean. You get a B- and you'll like it.
2 thumbs up.
Up your bumble.
Then what do you think the other thumb is?
All right. And with that being said, we cover this like a blanket. We cover this like the ozone layer covers us from the rays, the sun rays emitting from space. Any last words from you, Sean? Do you have grades of your own? Do you want to grade my grades? What do you want to do here?
I give your grades a C+.
Ooh.
A C+.
Nice.
C's get degrees.
Room for improvement. I like it.
There you go.
So obviously it's a joke that I give myself an A+, but I can't. Anybody, and the person that's the worst person to evaluate a team is the person who selected that team. So I asked you, Mr. Flannery, what would you give my draft? Just quickly eyeballing it.
Like the draft itself, because you already had, I think, one of the best sets of keepers.
No, and just do I only did the draft only.
Yeah,
so just concentrate on the draft. Just don't forget the keepers. I know I have the best keepers. That's an A+ right there too.
Maybe a C+.
Okay.
B- somewhere like a 79.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
Yeah. I feel like the pitching is I see things going very wrong with that with the pitching. Glasnow, Kershaw, Morton. Broken and old.
Wait, who?
Glasnow, Kershaw, Morton as like your top 3 SPs. I don't really have that much faith in Alex Cobb or Tony Disco. Nate Eovaldi might be your best starter by the end of the year. Clevenger is whatever. Maybe Reed Detmers. Okay, Reed Detmers might be my favorite starter for you.
Like I said, it was much worse last year.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to go back.
It's much worse.
I'd have to go back.
I'm practicing what I preach, Sean. Older is sometimes better, if not more often than not.
Just ask the Mets, right?
Yeah, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander. You guys are all happy about those, aren't you?
Yeah.
And
But,
Charlie
but
Morton.
you chose the bad old guys, not the good old guys.
No, Charlie Morton. I've been giving up on Charlie Morton for years, and all he does is
Chuck
prove me
Nasty.
wrong.
I mean, he had like what, a 4.2 ERA last year.
No, I don't look at ERA. You know that.
Yeah.
I think
he did strike out more. Like I saw that he struck out like 200 plus batters last year, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Every time I've been dissing Charlie Morton, he just proves me wrong. And this year, I want some of that on my team. I want it. But I'll say this: Charlie Morton was a very highly ranked player on my draft board, and he was just waiting and waiting and waiting. So I go, you know what? It's time to pull the trigger. So I did. So thanks for that. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go with the veteran pitchers. And if anything, we saw what happened last year when my crappy ass starting pitching was not living up to par. I just would go on waivers, and you guys would give me all the pitchers.
Your rotation was so much better last year.
I don't think so, man. I didn't like it.
No.
But no.
I haven't pulled up.
Hold on now. Make sure it's after the draft and not after I did all the gymnastics I did to put a serviceable rotation out there. Okay, is this after the draft?
I'm looking at the first scoring period. Did you do a bunch of ad drops before the first week?
Yeah, I don't remember, man. But go ahead.
But you have Giolito, Hunter Green.
By the way,
Musgrove.
Giolito was kept, and so was Liam Hendricks, I believe.
So was Hunter Green.
Hunter Green was on a keeper.
Yes, yes, he was.
He was not.
I'm seeing the green or the yellow little keeper.
What?
He might have been a minor league keeper. He
maybe. Yeah. And I dropped him almost right away because he was bad.
Joe Musgrove, Framber Valdez, Sonny Gray,
injured.
Corey Kluber, Bailey Ober, Drew Rasmussen, Joe Ryan.
Yeah, a lot of injured guys there. Corey Kluber would come in and out on my team as well. So a lot of volatility. But yeah, Joe Musgrove came and saved my butt. And
maybe you had to have a higher floor this year, but I think this pitching staff last year had a higher ceiling.
Higher floor. Oh yes,
that's you have a higher floor this year.
Sorry, I misinterpreted. But yeah, that's what I was going for. I was going for a higher floor this year.
But I feel like it's like a higher floor, but on a shaky foundation, because it's Kershaw and Chuck Nasty and Tyler Glass now.
Hey man, like I said, sometimes I'm practicing what I'm preaching. Sometimes more often than not, older is better. We talk about this all the time, Sean. We talk about this. The best highly rated starting pitchers are like way past 35 years old, and that's not me. That's consensus rankings at Fantasy Pros. We've been through this. So if real major league teams can go old, why can't I go old at starting pitching?
Yeah, why can't you?
Yeah, but I have, if these guys fail, I have confidence that I can find someone on waiver wire. You guys are just going to give me someone on waiver wire anyway, like you always do. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I'm waiting for a couple IL slots, and I already have a couple of names lined up to get added.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that as well. We got to turn on the minor league stipulation as well pretty soon. So there's going to be some big boy decisions that will have to be made in this league. Other than that, we have gone way over. I wasn't planning on that, but oh well. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Sean is over there. I am Felipe over here. We will all see you next time. Good luck this year, everybody.
Adios, guys.